From Maximus. Self-mastery, immune to any passing whim. Good cheer in all circumstances, including illness. Yeah. A nice balance of character, both gentle and dignified. And uncomplaining.
Gotta start that sentence again. I think dignified is what it kind of stops, like at the half.
No, of course, including illness. Immune to any passing whim.
Mm-hmm.
Like from Maximus. Self-mastery, immune to any passing whim.
Mm-hmm.
Good cheer in all circumstances, including illness. A nice balance of character, both gentle and dignified.
I dig that. Yeah. It's very self-explanatory, so that doesn't...
Well, let's just give it a second here. Because self-mastery, immune to any passing whim. As in, you have to basically make sure that you decide what you have to do, and your emotions are not the one that decides whether or not you do. It must be you.
Or rather, I would say now things that catch your attention. Oh no, because that your problem now, like on current times, the modern times, the problem is to maintain your attention on something. So I would say at least for men.
You mean in the sense like how TikTok is basically
exactly like at least for men, emotions I don't think are that much of a problem as attention is for both men and women.
Yeah, but I find that it has to do with your emotions, like in the sense that basically I want to do that because it feels good to monkey brain go happy.
But I don't think monkey brain is an emotion. An emotion is very like you can tell you have the emotion.
I mean, it's instinctual, I would say then.
The monkey brain is the contrary to, it's just attention. Because you got attention, you got dopamine. And because you got the swiping, you got the dopamine, so then you don't need the emotions. You just keep on doom scrolling forever.
Yeah,
you see what I mean?
I remember when I was younger and I doom scrolled. My God.
Oh my God, it's just so depressing.
I was 15.
Yeah.
The first time I used Imgur. No, remember that word?
Imgur?
Yeah. Imgur or Imgur or Imager or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It comes from the word Imager, obviously. Yeah, and it was the funniest day. It was the fucking funniest thing for 2 hours.
And then
And then next day it was very funny for an hour. But I'm saying it was very funny for 2 hours when I spent 6. And I'm saying it was very funny. It was quite funny for that 1 hour when I spent 8.
Yeah.
And then it turned into this thing where I watched it every day.
Yeah.
Where I then, I just doom scrolled and I wasn't laughing anymore. Like it went from me bursting out laughing to just
desperate for the...
Yeah, I wanted the dopamine back. I wanted it. Yeah. But so it was just doom scrolling basically, yeah. And in this case here, self-mastery, immune to any passing whim. Like you have to...
I do.
You need to control yourself.
Completely agree.
And the fact that, this motherfucker
it's basically apply modesty to yourself. Not only to everything that you like externally, also to yourself. So to be modest means not to be immune to any passing whim, in my eyes.
Yeah, like immune to any passing whim. Yeah, then. And then good cheer in all circumstances.
I like that because he's not saying be happy or be smiling, just be
positive.
Positive, exactly.
Be good, be strong of heart, be willing to greet someone. It reminds me of a grandfather, like who is ill, laying in the bed, but when you come in, the grandfather, grandmother, whatever, just says like, "Oh, hello," and like is still wanting to talk to you, still good.
Yeah.
They're definitely like
they're under pain.
Like it's literally like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory kind of thing, that grandfather guy, right, laying in the bed there, and
he's just enjoying his grandson and his family.
Yeah, exactly.
Even though he's in pain and poor and everything like that. Yeah.
Yeah, he enjoys himself. Exactly. A nice balance of character, both gentle and dignified.
I do think that not being kind is one of the worst character traits you can have. Like people that are not kind and are very self-centered just have it so difficult.
Would kindness fall under dignification, like dignified? Because dignified seems like a very moral concept.
I think dignification means like holding truth to yourself,
and
basically.
also like holding yourself to a higher standard. And
exactly.
Like, acting in a dignified manner. You know, like don't swear, don't like. I mean, it's not that you don't swear, but you know, you're dignified because you don't swear in front of kids. You're dignified because you don't. You know, you don't do.
You're not obscene.
Yeah,
basically.
Like also respectful in the right situations,
exactly.
and when needed, and you're kind when the situation calls for it. But it doesn't mean that you always have to be kind, because that's often the issue that people run into who are
like you run into that issue of giving your kindness to people that didn't deserve it. Yeah. And of course you can control what the other people do, but it's
I know that
you just test the waters, like that's part of the the thing. And also I think dignified means like in hindsight, when you see what you did, you're like honored of what you did, basically, or what you said. Like if you were to look in hindsight at everything you did of your life, and you're like very happy of your actions, then
gentle and dignified. When you look back, if I of course look back already, like I'm only like 25, but I look back and I remember every time, like I remember a lot of times when I was not gentle, when I burst, when I was wrathful, when I
and
was
then
angry,
I'm not,
and I cringe at it because it's
just not a thing you want.
Yeah, I wish I had been more soft spoken in the moment, like not wimpy, not I don't know, no, but just kept my cool, as in
exactly that. That's exactly the thing I didn't do when I was a kid. Basically, I never kept my cool, so it was just a fucking jester, just a buffoon, but not a good one, just annoying one. I do agree with you.
You were a clown, not a jester.
Exactly, a clown and just fucking annoying. That didn't, like, maybe my grandpa was thrilled, but no, it just didn't work, and it wasn't for those reasons. But I do get you, yeah.
Okay. Like I mean, yeah, I find that, so that I would also take that within the thing of being gentle.
Yeah.
Really, and being dignified, like. Yeah. Okay. An uncomplaining energy for what needs to be done. An uncomplaining energy for what needs to be done.
That I do. Thankfully.
But the thing is, the energy is uncomplaining. Or what? An uncomplaining energy
means a drive. By energy, he means drive. It doesn't mean actual energy. He means drive.
I know he's not meaning power. He means drive. Like that, but like I mean.
Exactly, drive.
I mean
so
it in the, like an uncomplaining drive for what needs to be done. Like.
Complaining is a waste.
Of
you
course.
know you need to do the stuff, so just fucking do it. You gotta change the diapers, go fucking change the diaper. No one will do it for you, so just do it. There's no way. If you gotta clean, the house is a mess, you gotta clean. There's no way around it, so fuck it. Why would you, I don't want to. No, fuck that. That's a weak man's mindset. Sorry.
Yeah.
I already do that, so that I can be proud. I took that thing to heart, basically. Yeah.
I need to remind you the part where it talked about how you talk.
How you gotta...
How you explain yourself.
Exactly.
Because the amount of swearing that we're doing right now is definitely... is definitely effing up. It's definitely screwing... It's definitely not...
Nice.
It is definitely going against the wishes or the desires of a better man.
Exactly.
It goes against the way in which a man should behave himself, in the way in which a person should behave himself.
I don't think swearing is bad. It's just lost opportunities.
Exactly.
Basically,
I'm having to think so much harder now when I don't just say it.
Exactly.
I'm having to actually figure out how to say this sentence
in a very
thoughtful manner that still conveys the same energy and meaning.
Exactly, which is harder, and that's why people don't do it. Okay. But I do think swearing does help. Sorry.
You need to only do it when necessary, I would say.
But there's no necessary, so you tend to overdo it all the time.
Exactly.
But the whole point is, like, if you have a means to an end, like you want to create a song, right? So you have all the opportunities to have good lyrics. So just have good lyrics, write them, don't swear. If that is the point. So but if you're
but sometimes in a song, there's that moment, you know, like when it's like a slam poetry song and all those things, when it's just like, you know, you hear all these words, like there's just so much power and everything, and then it just comes to the point where, you know, it's going louder and louder and louder, like I can't control myself anymore, and then and then it literally goes a bit screamy metal, and it goes, like, you know, just really letting it
all
out.
All the Breaking Benjamin songs, all the fucking I lost my fucking mind, like.
But I'm not saying that. I mean,
not
like,
that,
you know,
but
you
yeah,
have
I get
said
you.
everything there is to say. You have said an entire chapter's
And then
worth
he
of,
just lets
and
it
then
off.
yeah, exactly. That
Just-
energy, all of that sadness, that sorrow, that energy, just
Literally.
yeah, like that conveys a sense of of overwhelmment. That just, and by using a swear in that moment, it adds so much more energy and conveys so much more than just saying I cannot handle it anymore. I am so overwhelmed.
Exactly.
Like even if you were to scream, "I'm so overwhelmed," it
Exactly.
doesn't do the same. It doesn't it.
Choosing the correct words for the
Correct
environments, places,
the right
moments.
words for the right times make all the difference.
Exactly. That is the point. Like very,
Mr. Freeman.
being very intentional.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rise and shine, Mr. Freeman.
Okay.
Rise and shine. Sorry. Okay, energy. But now we're back. Like I know we just jumped back technically, but we were at an uncomplaining energy for what needs to be done, and I do find that is true. You should do that because you waste so much. I waste so much energy just complaining about it before I do anything.
Yeah, you're a complainer.
Oh, I really am. Like I'm not a screamer. I'm not a sweater. I'm a complainer.
Yeah.
I complain about it all. Like, it's not good.
I say it's a matter of you haven't been humble enough to not, like, once you humble enough, like you got nothing, then you can complain. Like you literally got nothing, so you can even complain.
Would you say that complaint is a disease of those who haven't been humbled?
I wouldn't categorize it as a disease
or an illness or whatever. Like, you know, as it's an affliction of those.
It's a lack of experience.
It's a lack of humbleness.
For me, it's experience, because if you haven't been humble...
Well, humble comes through experience, obviously.
Exactly. No, but by having experience, you usually, if you have a humble experience, basically you have to live with nothing, then you don't get to feel those things. You only start feeling like nagging and complaining when you have stuff that you would rather do, and then it becomes a...
So complaining comes from wealth.
Exactly. Literally.
From having.
Literally.
From expectations.
Literally.
From contemplate? No.
It's all on your mind. It's just all on your mind.
The trust he inspired in everyone, that he meant what he said and was well intentioned in all he did. The trust he inspired in everyone, that he meant what he said and was well intentioned in all he did.
That's just Millet for me in a nutshell, literally. That's just Millet. Like, he just wants the best. He just wants the best for the country. He wants the best for its people. So he just... He doesn't care if he has to do the uncomfortable truth. He just does. Because everything he says is true. So that why he can
there is
back
no
up his word.
truth if there is no lie. It's just an uncomfortable experience. It's still uncomfortable, but at least it's not lies. As long as you live, like, people will trust you. If you're truthful, people will trust you. Like, there's no way around that. It doesn't matter who you are, and I love that. I feel like he inspired the trust he inspired in everyone, that he meant what he said and was well intentioned in all that he did. Like, I get it, but I feel like I'm not absorbing it. he inspired the trust in everyone by meaning everything he said. Like he was a very, like, it doesn't mean that he was honest as much as in the sense that you can feel what he says has vigor, that he is truly he truly means everything he says. He
wants the thing that basically he doesn't
he speaks from the heart. He doesn't speak from the he doesn't there's no snake's tongue, there's no venom in his words.
Not only not lying, it's vigor. Just exactly being determined to, but he just doesn't do things he doesn't want to. You know, he only says things he wants to say and does things he wants to do, which is why he's trusted basically. And also being like well-intentioned.
Does he do things that he wants to do? Because what if he wants to do something in the heat of a moment that isn't necessarily that good?
I don't know. Like that's very personal. Like to me,
he said and it was well intentioned in all that he did. You know, like that means that anything he says he meant, but he didn't say the things that wouldn't be well intentioned.
No, he doesn't mean like well intentioned in the things you say. It's like you're not trying to scam people. You're not trying to steal from people. You're not trying to do bad deeds. Basically, that's what he means. I think. Like basically, you don't have a criminal's mindset in a way. Like you're not making relationships with people just to get something from them, like with shoddy intentions. Exactly. That's what he means. I think like to be okay. You actually don't like this person, then don't contact them. Don't waste their time. Don't waste their energy. Just if you do want to be with someone, just be truthful. And well mannered, was it, or well intentioned?
Well intentioned in all he did.
Exactly. Don't do things out of spite. Right?
The trust he inspired in everyone, that he meant what he said and was well intentioned in all he did. Proof against surprise or panic. Proof in the sense of resistant against surprise or panic. Okay, someone who is not, you can't make him surprised or make him panic. He is cool-headed. He's level-headed.
It's like the innocent until proven guilty kind of thing. Like if someone tries to scam you, right, or someone tries to like get the better of you by surprising you. Or by panicking you, like getting you in a situation which you don't think the things you do, just act fast, and then you get basically bamboozled. Well, I think it's not talking about bamboozling.
I feel more that it's proof against surprise or panic, as in he is someone who is steel-hearted, as in level-headed, and you won't be, you can't make him panic. You can't make him surprise. You can't surprise or panic him. Like,
in a bad way, of course.
Yeah, like it's someone who won't be taken by surprise and go, oh my god, like
just ask for proof.
Like he won't go too excited, but no, it's not proof in that sense. It's as in fireproof. You know how that word means.
To be protected.
Not just protected, but resistant against. Resistant. He doesn't get.
Okay.
He doesn't get surprised or panicked. Nothing surprises him. Or panics
no, I
him.
don't think that's the thing.
But as in, he knows how to not.
He doesn't let surprise or panic get the better of him. He does get surprise or panic, of course. Like you can control that.
Of course. Like I mean, in that
it's level-headed when the consequences of that.
Yeah, and that means that someone, like there's the surprise of someone's having a baby now. The water broke. Surprise, right? And that is the person who then acts.
Let's go.
That's the person who says, okay, 911 calls the ambulance, gets all the things happening, gets them ready, gets them in the bathtub, whatever the fuck needs to happen, right? And panic doesn't, what's happening, right?
Panic is when people freeze, basically, because of...
Not just freeze. It's fight, flight, and freeze. Those are the three. Yeah.
What's next?
In nothing... Or panic. In nothing either hurried or hesitant. or hesitant. Like, in nothing, either hurried or hesitant, never short of resource, never downcast or cringing. Ooh.
Oh,
Or, on the other hand, angry or suspicious. Ooh, this is
that's
this is a very
deep.
deep one.
He threw spitting
Like-
fire.
Yeah, that one. Ooh,
I love it.
In nothing, either hurried or hesitant. So he doesn't rush anything, but he doesn't hold back either. Like he's hurried or hesitant. Like
It's not doubtful of what he does. He's very convinced. He's very
when
like
he does something, he is very sure of it.
Yeah.
It must be done. Never short of resource. Like he never goes in haphazardly. He always makes
he's
sure.
not he doesn't have us
Yeah.
stuff basically. He's
Yeah,
very
he-
well
he bring-
prepared.
and he brings it to the end. You know.
Exactly. I love the thing about
Never
being well prepared.
downcast or cringing.
What is downcast? Like sad?
Yeah, like downcast is like sadness, but like it refers to downcast as in when the skies are like a dark blue kind of thing. When like the feeling of having a dark cloud above you, like you
Uh-huh.
don't really want to,
You
right?
don't let it basically.
He's never downcast, and he's also not cringing. So he's never like he's never having that. He's never having the moments of the cringes either. That one feels like it's a way deeper one, the downcast and cringing,
Yeah.
and it's hard for me to properly get all of it. Like the cringing part.
I was just thinking in which context, like, since this is ancient Rome, right? He's an emperor. When does he cringe, basically? That's the...
Yeah, but this is like no. He learned it from Maximus.
He learned it from Maximus, okay.
Like Maximus.
But still, it's
He-
ancient Rome. Like, it,
Of course.
how do you cringe back then?
I love that you call it ancient Rome because what is ancient Rome?
It's not ancient, it's very modern.
Yeah, like I mean, are you talking about 600 BC or are you talking about this book here that is in like 70 AD, if I remember right?
I don't remember the time, the epoch. Don't remember.
161.
Okay, it's very modern.
Yeah.
Just 1,008 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
No, 1,018 years ago. Yep. I mean,
Like. When was it born? But like but ancient.
what's another meaning of cringe? I only have the modern meaning of
Like,
that's cringe.
I mean, it's the when you cringe, you're doing that. Like it's that thing. Like
I know what you do when you cringe, but what's that like? If you cringed at something in a proper manner, not in the way it's used
Okay,
now.
well,
When would you
like-
cringe?
Okay, so for example, me personally, it's not something I like, but like when we were when we saw that one rather disabled man walking. I won't go into too specific details, but yeah, like he, when we saw him and everything, I felt very uncomfortable.
But that's not
with
cringe.
But no, I was cringing. That is also a form of cringe. Like I was, I was cringing around him because I didn't. I was like, ugh. Like it's like a, you kind of pull back. You don't like it. You're, ugh.
Really?
Yeah, that's also cringing. Cringing is not just the thing when you look back, and you're like, ah shit, why did I do that?
I think
It isn't just that.
it means something different in Spanish. In Spanish, it's vergüenza ajena. It's like outward shame. That's cringing. You see the difference? There is a difference. Like
Of course, but this is an English word.
I know. But I'm trying to understand like what do they mean by cringing. It's kind of
Bent in fear and apprehension, he lugged his carry-on bag and computer case past cringing passengers wary of being hit. Like for example, like okay, that's like the passengers, they see like this heavy bag coming through and they like they're cringing to, like they're they see it swinging back and forth and they're like trying
is
to
it
not
like
get hit.
somewhat like fear?
It's bent in fear or apprehension. But it can also be obedient or attentive to an excessive or severe servile degree. Like we are surrounded by cringing yes men and sycophants. Experiencing embarrassment or disgust.
Embarrassment.
He was
yeah.
left cringing with embarrassment after stumbling over his lines during the West End performance of.
That's the
Macbeth.
meaning I know of.
Yeah, but the thing is, like that's the
It's
thing.
something.
I know
It's
that
just
there are
when
more
you.
meanings.
Yeah.
Cringing can be very many things. It can be like hesitation. It can be apprehension. It can be so much.
Okay. So in this sentence what is it in this sentence?
Like never downcast or cringing. Like he's never saddened or cringing. Like he never holds back. Like that's why cringing is such an intense word here, because it means so much.
Mm-hmm.
Like don't cringe away from it. Can be the case of, you know, like if you think of the
Is it like shying away?
Yes, but more like a fear of
Or like a threat of a threat? Shying away of a threat, like that something is
like
threatening?
you're cringe. Like for example, when you envision somebody getting hit by a car and it's suddenly very very visual, like you see it very clearly, and you go, ugh, that's a cringe. That's cringing. Because you're imagining all that, like the blood and viscera happening, right? That is cringe. That's cringing. It's literally that. It's that reaction. And that can happen to anything. That can happen to many, many, many things. And I'm guessing that it's like more never downcast or cringing, as in he never cringes away from a challenge. He never, you know, like from a person, from a thing, from anything. Like
it's not a coward.
Yeah. But it's more like, you know, even the things that you slightly fear or worry that might hurt you, you don't cringe away from it. Like, you know, you don't, like, you know, you can still bend out of the way of a
train, incoming train,
yeah,
basically,
exactly,
whatever,
or a case that might hit you. You can still, you know, do this, but you're not gonna cringe away.
The moment you cringe, you lose control, and he's very.
Yeah. But it's also the bad thoughts from your past and everything. It's all of it. Like,
I get it.
That's why it's so it's a very deep thing.
Okay.
Or on the other hand, angry or suspicious. Like he's never downcast or cringing, or on the other hand, angry or suspicious. So he's never sad. Like he's trying never be sad. Like now, like lost and yeah, and also don't be angry. Like never be wrathful and right. Or suspicious. Like cringing is you slinging away and everything, while suspicious is like someone who like you can cringe away from the case coming through there, right? Like it can, you know, hitting you, but it can also and then you can be suspicious of it in the sense of, oh, he wanted to hit me.
Yeah, when people think that,
yeah, basically
I had that.
Everyone is against you, no one is for you, or whatever, right? But like I often, when I talk to someone like that who is very suspicious, I usually use the sentence of, no one is against you, they're just for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
In the same, and also like on the other side, yes, no one is for you either, sure, but they're for themselves. If you aren't in the way of them getting something for themselves, then they're not against you either, right? So like nobody is actively going out to hurt you unless it somehow benefits them, and that can be emotionally too, because they feel that you have done something against them, and therefore they feel that they will get something out of it, right? They get emotional satisfaction, they get revenge, they get wrath, you know?
Yeah.
Then yeah. Suspicious, like I mean, I struggle a bit with suspiciousness.
I am very suspicious, but on the street only. Like I'm not suspicious of people. I'm suspicious because in Argentina, like you have to be suspicious of everyone near you because everyone will
like
probably
everything in moderation. Like I mean, cautious and suspicious and paranoid are all very related, I would say. But
I wouldn't say they're bad, but just
paranoid is
small.
Paranoid
doses.
is to the extent that it becomes bad. I would say, like paranoid is a bad word, in the sense that, you know, they are overreacting to it, right? If you're suspicious,
what if they're right? That's the thing.
Well, then they weren't.
It's only
they aren't
paranoia until you find out that it's true.
Well, then you were just being cautious.
Exactly, but paranoia is a thing you look in hindsight.
Of course, I know that being basically paranoid. Yeah, paranoid can only be determined in hindsight.
Exactly, so you're just being cautious.
But the word in of itself, as far as I know, is a negative one. Like it is a negative word that is.
It is a negative word. Yeah.
It's like the word burnt. You know, it's already burnt. It isn't done. It isn't done cooking or something. It's burnt. It's too much, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like anything you burnt isn't good, usually.
Not always.
Well, I mean, it refers to like it's already kind of gone. You know, you didn't do.
If a breach burned and that prevented your enemies from invading.
Well, of course.
So but
it's still, yeah, I know, but I just mean in the sense of like paranoid.
Generally, yeah. Okay, continue.
And anger, suspicious, generosity in good works, and a forgiving and truthful nature. Generosity in good works and forgiving and truthful nature. So, generosity in good works.
Just do good deeds, basically. Don't just do stuff if there's interest in the middle. Basically,
but it doesn't have to be good deeds as much as he's generous in good works, as in, you know, doing, like, he's generous in doing well. He tries his best. He will do a job, he will do it well, and he's generous in it because he does a lot of job. Like, he as in, you know, he sets his, I think it means he sets his mind to do stuff, as in, he is generous in doing good works. As in, I am going to do this, and then after that he goes to do that, and these are all good deeds.
So he doesn't, like, he's not nitpicky when it comes to doing good works. He's just being generous means he does a lot of good works. Like like it's the thing of you want to.
He's generous. Like, it's not that it's an interesting sentence because it's not just saying that he's generous with his time.
Practicing what you preach. Basically, you did a good job, then do more.
Yeah, he's not just being generous with his time. You know, like, oh yeah, let me help.
No, it's good work.
Exactly, good works, plural.
Works, yeah.
Like he is being good. Like, he's being generous with all the things that he does.
That's good.
Like it's not just helping people randomly. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not just helping anyone. You know, like giving a drug addict money or something, because that's not a good job. That's not good.
That's not, yeah.
He makes sure to do something good, and he does it often, and he does many good things. Mm-hmm. You know, like, he's generous in doing good works. Mm-hmm. Okay, and a forgiving and truthful nature, and he's very forgiving, and like forgiving and truthful nature. Like, he's very honest and he's forgiving to those who have wronged and who lied and such, but not. And of course, like, forgiving is a good quality. You don't want to be what was the opposite of forgiving again? Like, it's wrath. It's like grudge holding, like holding grudges.
Mm-hmm. Unforgiving,
yeah. But you know, you like, one must always remember that you can't always, like, you can forgive, but you shouldn't always forget. You shouldn't forget. Mm-hmm. Like, if someone stole from you and they gave it back and you forgave them, do remember that they did steal from you.
They did steal.
Yeah, they stole from you. Mm-hmm. That they did steal from you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. They have stolen from you.
It doesn't deny what they did because of
Like, and that comes back to the whole suspicious thing versus cautious. I wouldn't be suspicious of them. I would be cautious of them in the future. Afterwards, you know, suspicious is, I know they're going to steal from me again. You know, I'm holding it like in a paranoid thing. While cautious is, let's just make sure it doesn't happen again, right? Right.
One problem about the being forgiving, for me at least, is that you don't know if everyone is trustworthy. So there are many crazy people in the world.
That's basically why cautiousness comes in.
Exactly. So I would say it's kind of selective forgiveness, because I don't think everyone deserves your forgiveness. There are some people that don't. Say someone, I don't want, just say, for example, someone kills a loved one, knock on wood, right? But that I don't think that person, like, deserves, like, you can forgive them so that you don't carry, like, the hatred or whatever, but it's just, There are
Of
some
course,
people
yeah,
that don't deserve
that's the thing.
forgiveness.
No. Like they deserve the forgiveness, so that you don't let them live on within you.
Exactly, like it's a
Let go.
self-strength kind of thing. So you decide to forgive them because you don't want to live with that the rest of your life.
Yeah, like
You're strong enough that you can forgive them. You don't.
Yeah.
You don't.
I forgive the person who did the things to me, and because I want to live.
I
my
still
own
condemn
life.
the things he did. I don't want anyone to do
Yeah.
that to.
Like I forgive him for
Yeah.
having done it to me, but I will kill him if he does it to anyone else, kind of thing, right? And if,
I don't know if killing, just
no, but
killing
you know what
to
I mean.
me,
Like
just
I mean in the
went
sense
too
of
extreme. Yeah.
I'm seeing it. It's like a
Yeah.
movie kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
You know,
The
this has
ancient
happened.
Rome, blah blah blah.
If
Yeah.
I know that it was only an accident and such, I forgive. Also, even if it wasn't an accident, if someone did something horrendous to you, for you to live your life, you must forgive them. And by forgiving them, sometimes that lets them live a better life too. To know that they are forgiven. And is that not? I'm sorry to go a bit religious here, but is that not the teachings of Jesus and everything? Like that is to make even the one that you have so much, the one you have the most disdain for in the world, who has done something so wrong to you, for you to be able to forgive them, shows such a character of strength to you, and it gives them the chance to live just that little bit better. It doesn't mean that they get out of jail if anything happens, such, right? But maybe they might just be able to have a better life in jail, as in they might, decide to study a bit, be able to like
Turn the life around.
turn just a little bit. Like there's people who live in who are lifelong jail people who study law, for example, right?
They become lawyers and defend themselves in that.
Not just themselves, other people, like because they're already there lifelong, right? But they help other people for the good of it, right?
They don't. Yeah.
Yeah, like for you forgiving the person who did something so horrendous to you can sometimes result in them becoming better, and like it's a case of making the world better by it. Don't hold on to vengeance. Don't
Exactly.
hold on to.
That's weakness.
Yeah, like vengeance is an illness. Retribution is also not. Like an eye for an eye makes the world go blind.
I do believe justice is necessary, but I don't think killing is justice.
Justice is one thing, revenge is another.
Yeah, I trust justice.
And-
Okay, you pay for the consequences of what you did. If you have to spend 50 years in jail, then it's your thing. You decided to do it. No one forced you.
Now we were getting to the point where then comes the question of, is it justice that now the state, the people have to pay for your 50 years in jail that cost over like $1,000 a month, basically?
It's very unconstitutional for me.
Yeah, like
I don't like it. I don't trust it. People should have to pay for their own jail time. Which they're doing.
But then there's the whole thing of what when they come out and all these things. Now they have like $50,000 in debt. Like they're now in debt slavery basically. And so it's like that's a hard topipic.
It's a hard topic. We can delve later. Yeah.
Yeah, let's not delve in that now. Let's see if we ever get to any points here where they're talking about justice. Let's see if we can do that there. Let's see here. He is forgiving a truthful nature, never lying and being as one thing is telling the truth. Another thing is being as truthful as possible. Like that's a Jordan Peterson quote that I remember. Like just being the most truthful you can be. Okay. Little intermission there. Okay, let's see here. We are forgiving a truthful nature. Like the whole Jordan Peterson quote I was talking about before. Like the fact that you have to be as truthful as you can. Don't tell the truth or the half truth. Tell it as truthfully as you can. Like don't just say something happened, right? Like a car crash happened, right? And there was a stone that then flew into a window or whatever the fuck, right? You don't just say, a car crash happened and the window broke because of it. No, you mentioned the fact that the stone flew and did that, if you saw that, You're trying to take your time, don't Take your time.
Mm-hmm.
And then say it as truthfully as you can. For that will give you the thing. That will give you the trust in which he, like the sentence, the trust he inspired in everyone that he meant what he said. And was well-intentioned in all he did. That will give you that. The impression he gave of undeviating rectitude. The impression he gave of undeviating rectitude as a path chosen rather than enforced. What is rectitude?
It's just how can I explain rectitude? Basically, you don't fall astray off your path.
Does it have to do with righteousness?
Kind of like when you're 18, right? And you're at the stage like, do I go to college? Do I work? What do I do? And then you may have parents that say
morally correct behavior or thinking, righteousness. It has to do
exactly.
with righteousness.
It's righteousness. So basically, it's when you're 18, you have to decide what you want for your life.
Yeah.
Basically, there are people that just do what their parents tell them, so they just study.
But that isn't always morally right.
Exactly, that's not being rightful.
Like, okay, sure, if you decide to go to college because your parents told you to, you're doing the wishes of your parents, you're
but
honoring
it's not
their wishes,
yours.
But you're honoring their wishes. Okay, you can
I don't
do
think
that.
It's okay.
No, wait. If you go to college, remember the whole thing of being as truthful as possible, right? That includes yourself, being truthful to yourself. If you know when you go to college, you're just going to take a liberal arts degree or, a fucking gender course, something that is just a waste of money, then you're not being truthful and you're not honoring them, and that is just not being righteous. That's not rectitude.
I would say the moment you decided to do something you don't want, then you're not right.
But sometimes you have to do things you don't want because you know they are right. Want is a word of emotion.
No.
Yes.
No, not the word of emotion. I mean, that it's not right. It's only perspective. For you, going to college is right.
Well, no.
For
what
me,
I mean
it
is,
isn't.
For example, if I know that when I go to college, as an 18-year-old, that I will go to law school, or a doctor or something that does require college, right? And I will do it my absolute best. I will become the lawyer, the doctor, whatever, right? Then it is righteous to do so, even at the wishes of my parents, because I also choose to say, I will do this and I will do it right? I am not wasting their time. I am respecting their wishes.
I would say you're being untruthful.
No. If I said if I want to.
The thing
I want to do it, right?
If you want it, then you don't need your parents' wish behind it.
Of course, but
that doesn't matter.
But then there's also the case of, if they wish for you not to do that, and then you can talk to them about it, yada, right? It's only like, I'm just talking about the fact that you should respect the wishes of your parents, but if the wishes of your parents cannot be fulfilled by you, as in if you were to go to college and do these things, it would only be by sheer willpower and not any desire, and you know that in the end you will just it will be a waste, then it's not righteous either. Then you need to talk to them and figure it out, to tell them, this is not the path for me. I would rather be a carpenter. I am going to be I know I will be the best carpenter in the world, and I will do the absolute best I can. And I think that they would, of course, respect your wishes then. And it would be righteous.
Hopefully, they do.
Yeah.
And even if they disagree with you, I think as long as you said everything you had to say and you follow the things that you want to do, then you're
one
right.
Thing that often...
That's rectitude.
One thing that can happen that I find to be quite interesting, like I have a friend who basically seems to have that happen right now, is... Rini, is... You can make a promise to them, like in the sense of, I will do this thing that I have chosen, and if it does not work, if I do not give my all to this, like for example, if you want to be a painter, okay, like then you can say to them, I will give it my all, I will do everything in my power to do so, and if at any point I do not meet the necessary, like if at any point I'm not giving it 100% of what I have, then you can send me to law school, as the parents wish, right? Like, then you can send me to the other thing that will give me a decent job and such,
I don't trust that because it's very ambiguous.
Of course, but like I mean it in the sense of, you make you like it's a bit movie-esque, I guess.
But how do you gauge that? That's the thing. How do you gauge that? How do you know that?
You make parameters.
Okay, grades. With your parents.
It can be grades.
Like, it doesn't make sense to me.
Or it can be money. It can be how much money did you get that, like with, you have 6 months, make this amount of money from art, right?
Say it's your kid.
Sell for... No, I'm not saying that.
Say it's your kid, right? And you kid, I wouldn't want my kid to make a promise. I don't do promises. I would rather have him do. So he wants to become a musician. Then fucking play. I want to see you in a show.
Watch your
You do swear a lot. So that's my
yeah,
you have been like at least 4 times. But yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter. Okay. So basically, my kid says he wants to be a musician. Then play a show. I want to go see you. I don't care. Don't promise me you will be the greatest. You don't know if you'll be the greatest.
No, not the greatest. I just want you
doing.
But I still want them, like, what
promises
I mean is,
don't work.
What I mean is, well, they do work to a certain extent. Like, if my kid says he wants to skate, right? I tell him, okay, I'll buy you the skateboard, or we will, figure out a way for you to get the thing. But I will make it. But then I need. You are going to go skate 2 times a week at very minimum. And like, there's no promise in that. I'm promising him that he will do that, in the sense that he doesn't get the choice whether or not he will skate those 2 times a week. I will drive him to the skate park and sit there for 2 hours if I have to, just to make sure he skated, like, because we agreed on this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if we make
an
agreement,
you're making it kind of forceful, which I don't like.
I understand
that. Fun.
It's supposed to be fun, but the thing is, certain things, kids, like, the thing is, for example, when I was a kid, right? They put me in chess club, right? And I liked it. It was kind of fun. And then eventually I stopped going because I had other things I wanted to do instead or something, right? As in, like, I wanted to play some computer games or whatever instead. I wanted League of Legends instead.
Mm-hmm.
I wish that they had been a bit more forceful. That they had sent me to the chess club, because I had fun. It was fun. It was just a different fun. It was a different thing. It required something of me, but it was still fun. Like, in that sense of forcing it. It's not like I'm gonna, make it angry and everything. It's just, we made an agreement, now we're gonna go. We'll be there. I'll even skate with you or whatever, right? We're just, like, I'm not gonna, like, what's it called? I'm not gonna force them. If I see that they are truly not having fun doing it, of course I would stop. But I would do everything in my power to make sure that they keep the habits that they can get. If it's a healthy habit, like skating. Like, I want to make sure that they have something that they keep on to. Like, there will be bad days and there will be good days. There will be days where you don't want to do something. There will be days where you do want to do it, right? And if you give in to your emotions, remember, like, if you give in and don't do it because your emotions said, I don't feel like it, then you become a slave of your whims. Do you always want to go to the gym in the sense of emotionally?
The thing is, I cut emotions and I cut, like, promises I just do.
Exactly. But there's
a difference.
You're an adult.
And exactly.
Kids are ran by their emotions.
I don't think they're run for emotions. If
you don't teach them how to, like, okay, most kids do not know that there's a difference between how they feel right now and who they are, in the like at the beginning at least, in the sense that kids often do not realize that emotions are a part of them, but they are not their emotions. Their emotions are only a part of them. They can choose to react on it or not.
It also depends on if we're talking about kids after 13 or before, because usually before puberty they don't have, like, at least kids, like male kids, they don't have enough testosterone they feel emotions much more because they're before puberty, right?
Yeah.
And they also
I mean,
haven't developed empathy completely. So basically, once they're 13, they can introspect. But before that's very hard for them.
And that's
They
why,
just
as
don't.
an adult, you, as a parent, you must be the one to.
You are the one to do that because they
Yeah.
can't.
But
Once
also,
they grow up, they can see.
But remember, you are what you are how you were raised as well. Like, of course, there's genetics and everything, but habits formed young will last a lifetime.
Exactly.
So if you make them, if you take the fight, okay, fucking, well, like if you, another intermission.
It's different when you say promise than when you say agreement. The moment you
Of
said
course.
agreement, that changed. I do think that you have to teach a kid how to
Make
to make an agreement and to
I guess it's the difference of what an agreement and what a promise is, because to me they're they're almost the same.
A promise is false in nature. An agreement requires responsibility. An agreement, if you fail to comply the agreement, you have to pay consequences for failing that. Our promise, no, nothing happens. It's just false in nature.
Okay, so if there's agreement with the child, right? Like they agree that they will skate twice a week and such, right?
Okay.
And the agreement goes like this: that basically I
Then-
will make. They agree that like I would literally say to him in this case, right? Even when you don't want to, right? I will be there and make sure that it does happen. I will make sure that on the days where you don't want to, if you haven't skated and it's Saturday, then me and you are going on Saturday and Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll go, like if it's raining, we'll go to the indoor hallway, whatever. Like we'll still do it. And do you agree that even if you don't exactly feel like it, that I get to make you do it despite that? Right? And then of course the kid will say yes, because they're not thinking that far.
I don't think I will go. I still don't think it's right to go into the I will make you do it. I don't think that's how it
Like, do
works.
you agree to do it even when you don't want to? And I can, of course, help you by getting you there, making it as easy for you as just step out of the car and go over and try a bit, have a bit fun. Like, it's all depending on wording, of course. I understand that.
I think I would much rather lay a framework in his mind so that he thinks, for example, I have this framework of if I don't do the stuff that the chat would do, I'm weak. And I have been weak. And being weak costed me a lot of suffering, of pain, of relationships, of everything. So I don't want to be weak again. I don't want to be untruthful again, ever. So basically I say, if I'm not strong, then I'm completely like, I don't have...
So you would try to make of course, before you get to this point where you give the kid the skateboard, you would want to try to instill them the fact that their words matter.
Exactly.
That any promise or anything they say must be matched.
I want them, what he says, I want them to be very intentional of what they say, what they think. I don't want them to just spread a nonsense and just say, oh, I will do this, I will do that, and then don't fulfill anything.
Like basically
I want them to be intentional.
You want them to be as truthful and intentional as they can.
And I want them to tell me, Daddy, I'm not really enjoying this, and okay, we'll have a talk, whatever, but I don't want them to do things they don't want.
Let's figure out how to make them enjoy it then, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
which
like
is what you do with the
discussion.
gym. At first, when you start the gym, it's just and then but
You
the
find
longer
something
you
you
do
like.
it, you actually start liking it, and then you start making friends, and then that's the same with any activity basically. So I would go for that. I wouldn't go for the forcing you. I would go for the laying a mental framework that works for you. People are different, right?
Of course.
And if you have children, they will be very similar to you and mom, basically. So basically, you will have to find out, what's their personality like. What maybe it's a very intelligent child. Maybe it's a very obedient child. You don't know. Maybe it's what's the word? A rebel. Maybe it's a kind of a rebel kid, right? And
of course, every kid rebels when they get to a certain age. But basically, you're using the wrong words. There are actual words for this. It's like their empathicness, their righteousness. There's a scale of how it works. There's basically these like how sympathetic you are, how empathic rather. I think how. I don't have the words right now, but basically there's a scale to it. like a proper, you know, like how their personality test and everything.
Mm-hmm.
It has to do with like, where is it? Yeah, it's literally to do with your. We'll cut out a little bit here. Right, there we go. It's neuroticism, openness, consciousness, extroversion, and agreeableness. Those are the 5 traits to determine how someone is as a person.
Mm-hmm.
And that is like the studied terms, the proper terms of it.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a personality test. It's not an IQ test or something. But basically, how open is someone? How neurotic are they? How agreeable are they? How extroverted are they? How conscious are they? Women are usually very high in agreeableness as well as consciousness. Socialist people tend to be very high in openness because they're open to new ideas constantly. Like they want to
just don't think them through.
Exactly. Neuroticism tends to be someone who, I should say, like someone who
Very controlling.
Rigid. Like they want to do something and they want to do it a lot. Someone's very neurotic tends to have anxiety issues, as far as I remember. But an extroversion is also like how you are with getting friends and such. Someone who's a businessman tends to be rather low.
I think extroversion and extroversion are the same thing.
Like it is.
To be extroverted is not the same as extroversion.
Well, that's the generalized term. Instead of neurotic and extroverted, it's neuroticism and extroversion.
Okay.
Like an agreeableness is also the thing that, like a businessman tends to be rather unagreeable. Mm-hmm. As in, someone who made his own business is not usually very agreeable because he has had to say no to a lot of shit. Mm-hmm. To a lot of poo. Mm-hmm. But okay, let's get through
Let's
here.
Finish. We just have one more sentence.
Truthful nature, impression he gives undeviating rectitude as a path chosen rather than enforced.
The fact that no one would ever have thought himself belittled by him or presumed to consider himself superior to him. That's kind of a tongue twister.
I can say it.
The fact
that no one would ever have thought himself belittled by him. Ooh. Like, at no point does anyone consider themselves to have been, no, he's not interesting. Like, he's such an idiot. Nobody has been belittled by him, right? No one would even consider themselves to be belittled by him because of the way he is as a person.
It's very honorable. I like.
Yeah, like you don't talk shit about people.
Exactly.
Ever.
Exactly. I love that. Like if
if you do,
yeah,
you do so in a very honorable manner of saying he might have his failings. But though failings he may have, I shall not mention them without him present. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Very honorable, yeah.
Or presume to consider himself superior. Consider himself superior to him. And so nobody else thought themselves to be better than him.
So basically it's just
nobody
saying...
thought themselves to be...
He's saying be down to earth, basically. That don't think you're better. Like, even if you apply everything you read in the book, you're like the best person ever. Just don't think you're better than everyone, basically.
Of course.
Even though you do most things better.
Like that, no one would ever presume... The fact that no one would ever have thought himself belittled by him or presumed to consider himself superior to him. Like, so nobody thought themselves...
He thinks he's better than me.
Nobody would ever think that they were lesser than him in the sense that, he thinks he's better. Like, he is talking shit about me. Mm-hmm. And nobody thinks, I am better than him, right? Mm-hmm. Like, than him. Like, he never belittles you and you never think you are better than him. Mm-hmm. And that's...
And it's saying, like, you're not that important. Like, people are very, 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 very self-centered. And...
Don't make yourself more
you're not
self-centered
really that important.
Than you are.
Yeah, you are important, of course. We don't want people to end themselves. But basically, you are important. It's just that you're not that important. Like, chill. Basically, it's not that, like... It's just when people get self-centered and then you overthink, it's just
And the very last part.
vicious cycle.
And a pleasant humor.
Yeah.
That's important.
Yep.
I don't know about me. Like my humor, I hope my
Having
humor is pleasant.
risks.
Like
I think I don't know if it's pleasant. Like what does it mean pleasant? Like good for everyone?
nice. Like as in pleasant. It's not. It feels good to be around. It doesn't feel bad, right?
I wouldn't describe your humor as bad, but I also wouldn't describe it as pleasant. It's just
Well, I mean, it's
naughty
nice.
oriented.
Well, I mean,
I have an uncle that's like has like that humor. Like he's just a fun dude.
yeah.
He just speaks.
Well, I
he
mean,
just,
a pleasant humor is just someone who's nice to be around. It's not that you feel disgusted by them when they are talking to you or something, when they try to have fun, right? They can make you laugh despite all of it.
he's not trying to make you laugh. He's just funny.
Yeah, he's
I love
funny.
that I have an uncle like that. Yeah, I do like that's pleasant, but it's very specific. I only met 2 people like that in my entire life, and it's very specific. Like how he came, he just he doesn't care really. I would say, and also he's very good in nature, so he doesn't belittle people when he does humor or himself. No, and she's just funny. And when he tells anecdotes, it's just the best. You're always like with a grin on your face.
Do you also get like that feeling? Like, do you get a heartwarming feeling around it?
Yeah, you want him around. Like I always ask my dad, when is Leo coming? I wanted Leo to come to have an asado, like a barbecue at home, because he's just fun, dude. He's just fun to be around. Yeah.
I need to meet him definitely.
Yeah, it's a fun. He just became a dad again.
Oh right,
He had
so
a,
that's him.
had a
That's
chi-
him.
yeah. But it's lovely
Congratulations.
to find people like that.
Oh, it is. It is. Like it's hard about the being good natured, because like me personally, I have my demons.
Of course. Yeah.
But the thing is, I feel like some people don't really have demons in that sense. Like some people.
No, they do. They just don't focus all their energy in them. There's a quote I saw on one of the like Joe Rogan podcasts.
Joe
sorry.
Rogan, yeah.
And basically, there's this thing of if you only talk about your problems, you only make your problems bigger. So the people are obsessed about talking about their problems. So the moment you only speak, okay, I have ADHD, I'm depressed, I have okay. The only thing you're doing, you're just making them bigger. Then just do something else. That's why exercise, she says, that's why exercise is so powerful, because you don't speak about, oh, I'm so depressed. You just do.
Yeah.
So then in the moment you stop thinking about it,
just
so the
action.
moment you stop thinking about it, then you have less problems. Basically, it's basically a kind of a disease of you create your own problems by thinking about them. Basically, what are their balloons?
I don't know. Great.
I don't know. I did this, and I think.
Yeah, that needs to.
Okay, that needs to.
That needs to be.
That could be
removed.
the outro. Like we could say, and goodbye.